Today on Drawbli.
Ben is recalling.
Hey, I'm Ben.
And I'm happy.
And we're drawing together because art is better with friends.
So click that subscribe button if you're new around here.
And don't forget to check out our new brush pack, link below. Abby, I'm recalling some drawings.
Yes, what do you recall about these drawings?
I recall many things because I used the recall drawing
You weren't
method.
just remembering drawings you've done in the past. This is a new art method that we're about to learn about. Thank you.
It is specifically based on memory research that I would love to talk about more at length. This is on screen just a warm-up sketch, and I'll explain the recall drawing method here as we're about to get into it. So the recall drawing method is super cool and an awesome way, the proven fastest way, to learn to draw better faster.
Well, what's step one?
Step one, you find yourself something you want to draw.
What if I don't want to draw it?
Oh, then you shouldn't do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
It's gonna be hard to find something, but okay. No.
So I wanted to practice the anime art style, and I wanted to improve at it quickly. I've messed around with it in the past, typically with little success. Not very much success. So I decided that I would try to learn how to draw the anime art style using the recall drawing method. So the way the recall drawing method works is you find a reference, you look at the reference, and then you put the reference away.
How long do you look at the reference?
As long as you want. You know, you can, I don't think that there's any specific amount of time. And then you try to draw that thing. So for me, the anime art style is really well known for, big eyes, almost non-existent nose, typically a simple line for the mouth, and really simple face proportions as well. Like really kind of big forehead kind of thing. So what I did was I think we're already on the second one here, but I looked at an anime face, I put it away, and then I tried to draw the anime face, and then I compared the two, and I said like, oh, what did I do wrong? What did I forget? Like, what did I leave out? And then I did it again and repeated that over and over again.
Was there anything that you felt like, oh, every time I seem to be getting this wrong or forgetting this part?
No, I don't think so at all. I was actually extremely surprised by how quickly I was able to memorize the components of it. And so quickly, in fact, that I think this one is the next day, if I'm not mistaken, where I had gone my morning sketch session was over. I went to the next day, came back, and I tried to repeat this process. Like the next day, without looking at anything.
From the same reference?
Without looking at anything, just based on what I remembered from the day before.
Wow.
So I believe that is what this is. Hence why it didn't have the pointy ears or anything.
Amazing.
And then I tried to give it some hair, and the hair did not work out very well, but that's okay.
No, the hair looks fine.
But yeah, this method is super awesome and super fast for improving.
I want to try to do it for hands.
Yeah, I think that would be a really
I want to get better at hands.
Me looking at it now, I'm like, so this is the day after. Like, I forgot to put this extra line for the lid above the eye. Like, that's a big thing that I forgot to do.
Yeah.
And that was such a big part of it. And these are more from the same idea of me trying to apply those ideas. So I did it 3 times, I think, and then tried to recall without looking at anything a bunch of different times.
Cool.
But yeah, I think my big takeaway from this was how quickly I improved from doing almost instant improvement from trying these different ideas.
This is so motivating. I am so excited. You've got me so excited to draw and to practice this. I love that when you encounter something that gets you really excited to do something.
Yeah, I think this would probably work well for just about anything. The biggest recommendation that I've heard for using this method, though, is to not focus on too much at once. So don't do this really complex portrait with a background and all these colors. As you can see, I'm not shading these at all. I'm just focusing on lines.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
And I'm just focusing on sketching the face. Because in my head, that's like the part that makes up the most of the anime art style, like the face.
Yeah, and that's something that would improve a lot with this method. I mean, some things maybe you just kind of copy over, like, oh, lighting, shading, or maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah. I think a lot of those ideas and principles apply to like painting in general. But I'm moving on here, I believe, to another session here in just a moment, and I'll talk more about how that went and how I improved on that. But yeah, super cool. Highly recommend. 100% worth your time. I think I did this over a week, 30 minutes every morning, and improved a ton.
This would be a really fun thing to do at a coffee shop. We both go, we take one reference, we both study it, we both draw it, and then we compare and see like how we both did.
Yeah. I would also say the other really important part of this is comparing after you're done. Like looking back and forth and saying, oh, I left that out, or oh, I want to make that shape a little different. Something like that.
Okay.
Some people also recommended the first time you draw it, look at the reference and focus on it and keep it up the whole time while you draw. But I tried that once on a different drawing, which I didn't include here. And the reason why I didn't include it is because I felt like I improved a lot slower from doing that. Like it wasn't actually very helpful. The reason why this method is so powerful and so good at improving you quickly, there was this study I was actually telling you about somewhat recently about how they had a bunch of people study for a test. And there were 3 different methods that they gave them. One was they could look at the book that they were studying for the test, full of the information or the material, the whole time, and they could do that. The second method was like just flashcards, and the third method was the recall method, where they were made to study by looking at the information and then in the book, and then trying to recall it on their own, and then going back to the book and recalling on their own. And they were all given an hour to study before the test. And before they took the test, they were asked, how confident do you feel about, how well you're going to do on this test? And interestingly, and I find this interesting because I also thought this until trying this myself, that the people who looked at the book, aka the reference, the entire time thought that they would do the best. They were the most confident, yet they did the worst on the test out of every group. And the group that was the least confident in their ability for the test was the people who used the recall method by looking at the reference, going back and trying to recall it, looking at the reference, going back, trying to recall it before taking the test, and they performed by far the best on the test.
Wow.
Yeah, so doing it myself like really solidified it. And I am someone who has in Drawbli, we've always had our references there with us, drawing like the entire time. But now that I have tried the recall method, and I highly recommend you try it as well as everybody else, it really not until you do it does it click instantly, where you're like, oh, I've kind of gotten just really good at looking at references and kind of replicating some information that I need, and I can look at it whenever I need it. But when I'm forced to think about it hard and recall it in my head, you're like building neural pathways and making those connections and making it easier for you to remember and recall them again in the future.
Interesting. Very cool.
Yeah, this was actually, this is, I believe, the final one, which again, this was done the day after with no reference, using everything that I had learned from this recall method.
Wow, this looks amazing, and it's so clean and well proportioned and defined. This looks amazing. It's not wonky. It looks great.
And again, the hair didn't turn out awesome because I wasn't referencing hair for any of these. I just kind of threw it on at the end in
That's incredible.
Mad dash.
That's incredible. No, that hair looks amazing. I love it.
It got a little better as I went, but I should try the recall method on some hair next.
Yeah, you should. Oh, that'd be cool.
And if you want to try the recall method yourself, click that like and subscribe button.
And check out the new Drawbli Brush Pack spell book, available at the link below in the description.
And this is the part where we say
Goodbye.
Goomba.
Ben, I think you're actually already better at hair from the recall method than I am like looking at a reference. That's so good.
I don't think that's true. You draw incredible hair, and I'm very jealous.
Oh, thank you. But no, I think you're onto something here.